Alright, what is going on YouTube? And we got a brand new Genshin Impact video, and today we are reviewing the brand new mode. What is this called? It's like the Imaginarium Theater or something like that. And it's a Spiral Abyss-like mode, except you get to use sample characters, and you don't get to use just any character. In this one, you can only use characters of Pyro, Anemo, and Electro Element. So that was a little bit annoying. Like, I like using a bunch of different team comps, but this feels like a different style of Spiral Abyss type of game, like competitive Genshin gameplay. And it's a new challenge, so it was alright. I didn't really know what to think of it. Actually, I did. I was very annoyed by it because I couldn't figure it out, and there was a lot of stuff to read that I didn't read, and I just didn't feel like it. I just went full pedal to the metal, just gripped it and ripped it. And this was the result. And last night I managed to 8-star it, and I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, oh, is that all? And then I came to realize that it's 9 stars, just like the Spiral Abyss. So that's what gave me the idea to make a video on this. So here we go. This is my 9-star playthrough of the Imaginarium Theater. Now, it goes without saying that you're gonna want a lot of characters, and this is hard mode, by the way. I didn't play the other difficulties. I just went straight to hard mode. Pause. But anyway, I went straight to hard mode. I don't know what the other modes look like. I know that in hard mode it is ideal to have a ton of characters because each character you can only use 2 times. And you're going to want to save a character that has OSA, or however you call that damage, like the new Fontaine damage that disables the mechanical beings. I would save that towards the end because you have to fight the little dancing people, and one of the challenges to 9-star it is to disable the shield using OSA or whatever you call that. OSA. It's spelled like, I think, O-U-S. I don't even know, dude. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like one of the new Fontaine-like damage systems. So yeah, you want to save at least one of those. For me, that was Chevreuse, or whatever the Pyro Riflewoman's name is. And you'll notice in the top left there are a couple challenges, and to 9-star it, you have to complete all of those challenges. Defeating the opponents, then one like bonus thing, and then 1 star thing. And those 3 challenges are what give you the 3 stars that you see right here, like pop up right now. So you're obviously going to want to use and conserve your characters in accordance with those challenges. So if there's a swirl challenge you find out, you're going to want to save your Anemo ones for that. If it's an overload one, this one right here you see is to defeat the exhausted terror shroom, and that just means to overload it with Electro, disabling it. So this team, I put this woman who's getting absolutely tossed around. What is her name? Chlorine. I use her to disable this little Electro thing, get it in the exhausted state, and then I just have my Hu Tao Mono Pyro kind of trio right there to finish off this thing, the Terror Shroom. And that was my strategy, and it went pretty well. I don't like any of the sample characters. I hate the Wanderer, and Baruzan is pretty much just a I think she's just a support for characters like the Wanderer. So I don't have any negative or positive feelings towards her, just because I don't like the Wanderer, and I don't like Chlorine, and Arlecchino's alright. It's kind of like a different style of Hu Tao. That's alright. I would rather just use Hu Tao, but I didn't. Arlecchino definitely came in clutch a couple times. And then Kuki was another one of the featured characters that you pretty much had to use. I run a Tenacity of the Millilith set on her because I was planning on using her in a mono Electro team, and I wanted to run a buff on her. I have an EM build for her, but I'm just not using it right now because I tried to make it work with the mono Electro team, and I had Raiden on Emblem, I had Kujo Sara on Noblesse, I had Kuki on Tenacity of the Millilith, and who was my other one? Oh, I just had Fischl on 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Golden Troop to maximize her personal damage. And that was my quad Electro team, but it did not go well. So I changed the other characters back to their normal builds, except Kuki, because I haven't been using Hyper Bloom Kuki lately. So we just got the buffing Kuki with the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith set right now. And when I made the Mono Pyro and Mono Hydro video, I rearranged a lot of my builds, so that's why they're a little janked right now. You'll notice in the build section, I have to adjust a couple builds. Chevreuse has a Dragon's Bane lance on her polearm, because my Favonius lances are on Toma and Zhongli, respectively. So she's not even using a great weapon for her in this particular scenario. And also, if you need to put this video in like 2 or 3 times speed, I get it, because it was long to play, which means it's probably going to be even longer for the viewer to watch. So go ahead and put it in 5 times speed if that is your preference. You can see right here the bonus goal is just not to get frozen a couple times, so I just ran like pyro characters that were constantly doing a lot of like fire damage, or I really just used Hu Tao, but she was enough to not really get frozen much. And then I had my double Electro and Animo team and just kind of smoked through this part. But you're definitely going to want to be conservative with your characters. The first, I don't even know what you would call this, chamber challenge, I went all of the characters I didn't want to use down the road, because you can only use them twice, and the first challenge is always the easiest one on this. It would seem like this is like the first time me trying it, and I don't know if what people get, their challenges, and you know, the order in which they unlock their characters using the little currency system in this challenge. I don't know if that's the same for everybody or different case to case, but either way, I found that it was far easier just to go with the characters I didn't like or thought they were the worst right off the bat in the first chamber, which for me that was Chlorind, Arlecchino, the Wander, and Faruzan, because then I'm not using up one of my only uses on a character that I do care about using and would help me on a challenge or floor or whatever you call it. I also tried to include all of the little parts in between where I was like unlocking a new character or using whatever the little currency system is, just so you guys have a reference or know what I personally did. I don't even 100% know how any of that works. I just kind of did it and spent the currency willy-nilly. And I sped it up so it's like it takes less time out of your day and out of the video, and it's, you know, if you wanted to see it, you could slow it down or just pause this part right here. But I didn't want to like waste too much of the time on the video. I also had to go back and restart a couple times. Right after this act, I think is what it's called, I tried to use a D-loop, double Pyro, double Electro team, and Chevreuse was included on that team. And then I didn't have the Osa character use anymore, because I used her right here, as you can see. That was the first use. And then I didn't get another chance to use her when I needed her, because I used her against the mechanical Ruin Drake things. And the Ruin... there are a couple different Ruin creatures. It starts with the ones that kind of fly and have like a pointy thing at the bottom, and then the Ruin Drakes right after this one. And so I restarted, went back a couple acts, and used Arlecchino with a couple different characters against the Ruin creatures, and then I had Chevreuse available for the final one, which is the little dancing mechanical people, the new boss in Fontaine. Or I guess it's not so new anymore, since the Pyro region is probably going to be coming out within the next year, definitely. Maybe, I don't know for sure when it's coming out, but I would imagine it's sooner rather than later because we're at 4.7 on the current version of this game. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I hope Signora comes out soon. If you're a returning follower on the channel, you definitely know that I've been waiting for Signora for a while. So hopefully that becomes a thing. Here is my go at the Ruin bosses or Ruin opponents, and I'm using kind of a little overload team with Arlecchino, which works surprisingly well. I'm assuming that this hard mode is like floor 11 level difficulty bosses on the Spiral Abyss. Like, I'm guessing that's what it's equivalent to, and the challenge isn't so much the health and damage that all of them do. It's how well built and how well you have to use the few characters of the given element you're allowed to. And I was ready to give this one a couple goes, but it only took me 2 tries to beat it with the Arlecchino team because these guys managed to get grounded soon enough. I think it's due to Sucrose's swirl. Otherwise, you can use a bow character to hit them both in their little wing joint. It'll be the glowing orange circle connecting their wings to their body. You just hit them on both sides with that, and they will fall to the ground, if you weren't aware already. And then right there, you see the OSA damage getting done to that. Oh, what is this thing called? The Icewind Sweet Duality Side B. Speaking of duality, if you haven't seen it already, go check out me and Q-Tip Games' new montage, Duality 2. It is a Call of Duty quickscoping montage, and definitely the best on my channel. And if you know anybody who is into COD, definitely send it to them, because it is a crazy montage, if I do say so myself. And yeah, you will be blessing your eyes greatly. So yeah, right here we got an Overload D-Luke team, just kind of melting through the shield. It kind of took me a while to chip away at this boss because I was a little screwed up on my rotations, kind of mistimed them a bit. So I'm just kind of going to come in here with the Luke at the end and clean up, just swing around the sword, use his ult, completely whiff with that ult, and then cycle back through the Electro characters, finishing him off with D-Luke and getting 3 stars. It has this little like credit thing at the end as if this was like a movie or a show, which is kind of cool. I skipped through it because I didn't have the time to really go through and look at all of it, but I'm sure it's some pretty cool stuff. I saw something about like my Raiden damage, yeah, best actor / actress, Raiden Shogun, and it's just like the highest damage dealt. That's pretty cool. I just didn't have the time for it. Then right there, we got our 9 stars, and it looks like these things go by acts. Current record act 8, so maybe that's how I'll divide up the video. And real quick, I'll just go through all my builds, so if anybody's curious to how good of a build you have to clear any of these floors, or acts I guess they're called now, here they are. My Hu Tao is still on her Mono Pyro build, but right after this video I'm probably going to switch it back to the Vaporize Heavy EM build. Kazuha is pretty standard. D-Luke, he's kind of a hybrid between attack and elemental mastery because I am using that little Easter claymore on him. Here's the Kuki build I was talking about. I definitely wouldn't recommend building Kuki like this for like a normal Spiral Abyss or even world exploration, because the Dendro Hyper Bloom style of building her is way better of a direction to go. But for this specific thing where you're only reacting with overload basically, or mono electro non-reactions, I would definitely go with a build like that where you can just get the most out of her kit as possible. Raiden, my typical DPS Raiden build. We got a DPS Heizo build right here, which I'm pretty happy with. I accidentally got, who's that guy's name? Noviolette. I got his weapon when I was pulling for some refinements on Hu Tao's Staff of Homa, so he is lucky enough to have that now. We got a pretty decent Kujo Sara build, just kind of to buff and battery Raiden Shogun. Then we got our official build. This is the build I have to adjust a little bit because I'm only rocking one two-piece. I mixed around a couple different sets on accident with this one. So you just see me go through and adjusting it after the Beto build. I think for once my Beto was built pretty well for sub DPS level. Rocking the Emblem of Severed Fate because I feel like her burst just needs so much energy recharge. So that's why I'm running the Sacrificial Greatsword, I think is what it's called. Yeah, fixed up the official build. Then we got, I'm pretty sure, Chevreuse. Yeah, Chevreuse. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. She's got the Dragon's Bane on her. I didn't even bother switching it because I didn't end up needing to. And I don't know when the next time I will use her in the Spiral Abyss will be versus Zhongli and Toma, who are the other two that have the Favonius Lances right now. And here's the Toma build. Just a pretty basic Lava Walker one, buffing my Pyro damage. Pretty sure my Emblem of Severed Fate, Jingling, and oh yeah, and Bennett too. My Bennett build is probably the best it's ever been. It's not like a healing Bennett, it's like just a maximized Bennett. It heals pretty well, but it also has the Pyro Goblet and some crit on it, and plenty of energy recharge. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys do well on your Imaginarium theater attempts. And yeah, God bless you guys. Peace out. I will see you next time.